You did not arrive at this moment by accident, and you do not need to convince yourself of that. The recognition comes quietly, without drama. There is a calm awareness that settles in you, not urging you forward, not pulling you back, simply allowing you to stop where you are. It feels as if time has slowed not to test you, but to meet you. This is how a marked moment begins, without pressure, without demand. A marked moment does not announce itself with urgency. It does not shout that something must be done immediately. Instead, it carries a sense of familiarity. You may feel as though you have been here before, not in memory, but in readiness, as if some part of you has been preparing without your conscious involvement. That is why this moment feels less like discovery and more like recognition. When heaven marks a moment, it does not do so to create fear or expectation. It marks it because you are able to receive it. The mark is not placed on the future. It is placed on your present awareness. You are not being asked to move faster or make a decision. You are being asked to notice where you already are. And that noticing feels surprisingly gentle. You may sense a quiet reassurance forming inside you. Not excitement, not anticipation, but steadiness. A feeling that nothing is missing right now. This steadiness does not mean everything is resolved. It means you are no longer searching for proof that you belong in this moment. You already do. The mark exists because your inner state has reached the point where meeting is possible. There is no sense of being singled out or elevated. This is not about being chosen above others. It is about alignment. About the moment when your inner pace matches the rhythm of time. When that happens, nothing needs to be forced. You are simply present in the right way. And presence is what allows recognition to occur. A marked moment does not demand performance. It does not test worthiness. It does not measure readiness through action. Readiness here is quieter. It is the absence of resistance. The moment you stop insisting that things should be different, the mark becomes visible, not as a sign outside you, but as a calm inside you. You may realize that you are not waiting for something to happen. The urgency to move on, to get past this point, to reach the next thing has softened. In its place is a subtle understanding that being here is enough. That understanding does not trap you. It stabilizes you. And stability is what allows a moment to meet you fully. This recognition is not intellectual. You do not think your way into it. You feel it, a sense of being acknowledged without explanation, as if the moment itself knows you are capable of holding it. That knowing does not flatter you. It grounds you, because being met does not require effort, only honesty. You might notice that the desire to label or interpret this moment fades quickly. There is no need to define it as important or special. The mark does not need validation. It exists whether you analyze it or not. And that is what makes it trustworthy. What is real does not need to prove itself. This is the beginning of the experience. Not a beginning that pushes forward, but one that settles inward. You are not being asked to change direction. You are being asked to recognize where you are standing. And when you do, you may feel a quiet sense of peace, not because everything is clear, but because nothing is being demanded. At this first stage, nothing is required of you. You do not need to hold on to the moment or protect it. Simply allowing it to be noticed is enough. Because a marked moment does not come to be used, it comes to be met. And meeting does not require action, only presence. That is why this moment feels calm instead of dramatic. Why it feels steady instead of urgent. It was not placed here to rush you. It was placed here because you are ready to stand in it. And that readiness, once recognized, does not disappear. It becomes part of how you move forward, quietly, without force. As you remain with this moment, its meaning begins to unfold without effort. Being marked does not mean something was predicted or decided long ago in a rigid way. It means something was prepared. Preparation here is not a plan written outside of you. It is the slow, often unnoticed alignment of your inner state with the flow of time. When those two finally meet, the moment becomes visible. You begin to sense that nothing external needed to change for this to happen. The day may look ordinary. Circumstances may feel familiar. Yet inside you, a subtle readiness has completed itself. This readiness is not excitement. It is not certainty. It is the quiet absence of resistance. You are no longer pushing against where you are, and that is why the moment can meet you. A marked moment does not pull you into the future. It does not demand that you act quickly so it is not lost. Instead, it draws you deeper into the present. You realize that the value of this moment is not in what it leads to, but in how fully you are able to inhabit it. Time is not asking you to hurry. It is asking you to arrive. Prepared does not mean controlled. Nothing about this moment feels forced. It carries no sense of obligation. You are not being tested to see if you will respond correctly. The preparation happened naturally, through choices you did not label as significant at the time. Moments when you let go instead of insisting. When you paused instead of reacting. When you allowed something to pass without chasing it. These small shifts created space, and that space is what made this moment possible. This is why being marked feels calm rather than dramatic. There is no pressure to interpret signs or extract meaning. The meaning is already present in how you feel. There is a quiet confidence that you are not late and not early. You are exactly where you can be. That understanding settles the mind more deeply than any explanation could. You may notice that the urge to control outcomes weakens here. The question of what comes next loses its urgency. In its place is a steadier awareness of what is happening now. This is not resignation. It is participation without struggle. You are no longer trying to bend the moment into something else. You are allowing it to be what it is. A marked moment does not elevate you above others. It does not separate you. It reconnects you to yourself, to time, to the natural rhythm that does not require constant effort to maintain. You feel less like you are running alongside life and more like you are moving within it. There is also a sense of shared responsibility in this preparation. The moment was not created by you alone, nor was it imposed on you. It exists because readiness and timing have met halfway. This mutuality removes fear. You are not being watched to see if you fail. You are being met because you are capable of staying present. You may realize now why this could not have happened earlier. Not because you are lacking, but because readiness cannot be rushed. Awareness has its own pace. It forms in layers, often beneath conscious attention. When it is complete, it does not announce itself loudly. It simply opens a door that was already there. This is also why the moment does not repeat itself endlessly. It does not need to. Once you recognize it, its work is done. It does not demand to be held or preserved. What it offers is carried forward naturally, through a calmer way of seeing and responding. At this stage, you understand that being marked is not about destiny pressing down on you. It is about timing lifting you into alignment. You are not being pulled towards something unknown. You are being settled more fully into what is already unfolding. Nothing is required from you right now. No declaration, no promise, no action. Simply remaining attentive is enough. Attention, in this sense, is not effort. It is openness. And openness is what allows prepared moments to reveal themselves. This is how the meaning of being marked deepens. Not through urgency, but through ease. Not through prediction, but through presence. And as you stay with that presence, you may notice that it quietly reshapes how you relate to everything that follows. As this awareness deepens, you begin to understand what attention truly means in a marked moment. It is not vigilance. It is not scanning for signs or trying to make sure nothing is missed. True attention here is relaxed. It is the ability to stay with what is present without tightening around it. This is why the moment feels subtle. Truth does not need to raise its voice when you are ready to listen. Marked moments are quiet by nature because they are not meant to compete with noise. They are meant to meet readiness. When your inner pace slows, when your breath becomes natural again, When the constant urge to move ahead eases, the moment reveals itself more clearly. Nothing new is added. Something unnecessary is removed. And in that removal, a sense of ease appears. You begin to notice that attention is less about focus and more about contact. Being in contact with your experience as it is. Hearing what is being said without rushing to respond. Feeling what is arising without needing to name it immediately. This contact changes the quality of your movement through life. You are still moving, but you are no longer rushing past yourself. Silence plays an important role here. Not silence as absence, but silence as space. When the inner commentary softens, when the mind stops narrating every step, something steadier takes its place. Understanding does not arrive as a sentence. It arrives as a state, a sense of being settled enough for truth to rest. Your body participates in this before your thoughts do. You may notice your shoulders dropping slightly, your jaw unclenching, your breathing becoming fuller. These signals are not small. They are evidence that attention has shifted from effort to alignment. The body responds when awareness finds its proper rhythm. Keeping this moment alive does not require holding on to it. In fact, trying to hold it would pull you out of it. Real attention does not cling. It allows. You may feel less need to remember or record what is happening. That is because what is genuine does not need to be memorized. It weaves itself into how you stand, how you listen, how you pause. You may also realize that calm is not avoidance. Calm is one of the most direct forms of honesty. Panic and urgency often exist to keep deeper truths at a distance. When you slow down enough to feel, you are not escaping. You are meeting yourself more directly. That meeting carries strength, not fragility. This quality of attention also carries an ethical clarity. There is no fear-based pressure. No sense that something will be lost if you do not act immediately. Marked moments do not threaten. They do not punish inattention. If they are not noticed, they wait. If they are noticed, they do not demand more. This creates trust. And trust allows attention to remain soft. You might reflect on other moments in your life that felt important only in hindsight. Times you did not recognize as meaningful until later. That reflection does not bring regret now. It brings understanding. Readiness cannot be forced. It arrives when it arrives. And when it does, it asks only for presence, not perfection. Attention becomes most powerful when it is woven into ordinary life. Not set apart, not protected, not ritualized. You carry it into conversations, into pauses, into routine movements. This is how marked moments stay alive, not by being preserved, but by being integrated. At this stage, the impulse to do something fades into a quieter knowing of being here. This does not mean nothing will change. It means change no longer needs to be chased. You sense that something is already shifting, and your role is simply not to interfere with it. The subtlety of this moment is what makes it lasting. Loud experiences burn quickly. Quiet alignment endures. You may not be able to point to a single instant when everything changed, but you will notice over time that your responses are softer, your patience wider, your inner ground steadier. This is what attention offers in a marked moment. Not urgency, not instruction. Balance. And balance is where truth feels most at home. As this final stage settles, you may notice there is nothing left to complete. The mind often looks for a conclusion, a clear ending, something to mark is finished. But a marked moment does not close like a chapter. It opens into continuity. What resolves is not the moment itself, but the tension you once carried around it. What remains is ease. You no longer feel the need to hold this awareness in place. There is no fear that it will slip away if you stop paying attention. What has settled does not depend on effort. It has found its natural position within you. When awareness is real, it does not ask to be protected. It integrates quietly, becoming part of how you move through ordinary time. You may notice that the sense of urgency has faded almost completely, not because life has slowed, but because your relationship to it has softened. You are no longer measuring each moment for significance. You trust that what needs to meet you will do so without force. That trust is not an idea. It is a felt stability. Returning to everyday activity feels simple. Nothing needs to be paused or made special. The moment does not require ceremony. It travels with you into normal conversations, familiar routines, small decisions. You may notice subtle changes there. Less defensiveness, more space before response, a quieter confidence that does not need explanation. This is how a marked moment stays with you. Not as a memory you revisit, but as a shift in posture. You stand differently inside yourself. You listen differently. You allow silence without filling it. These changes are not dramatic, but they are durable. They do not demand attention, yet they shape experience. There is no concern now about missing something. You understand that marked moments are not opportunities that disappear if you fail to act. They are invitations to alignment. If they are noticed, they do not rush you. If they are not, they remain patient. This removes fear from the experience entirely. You may also notice that the need to define meaning has eased. You do not need to explain what happened or why it mattered. Meaning reveals itself through impact, not description. Over time, you will see how this awareness influences your choices and reactions. Not because you planned it, but because alignment naturally expresses itself. At this point, the moment can be released without being lost. Letting go here does not mean forgetting. It means trusting that what is real does not require constant attention. Control dissolves into confidence. And confidence allows peace to remain. Nothing dramatic follows this stage. And that is the point. Marked moments are not meant to separate you from life. They are meant to place you more fully inside it. Ordinary time resumes, but it is met from a steadier center. If there is a feeling that stays, it is quiet assurance. A sense that you are not behind, not ahead, not missing anything essential. You are where you can be, and that is enough. The rest of the night belongs to you. You do not need to carry the moment forward consciously. It will accompany you naturally, because what was marked was not an event, but a readiness. And readiness, once recognized, does not fade. It becomes part of how you continue.